Hello students, good morning and welcome to the fourth lecture on unit and measurement. This is our 31st lecture of physics, but you can say that it is fourth lecture on unit and measurement. Now in last three lectures we have started from primary concept of what is unit, what do you mean by measurement and all that, right? We have discussed different type of unit systems and all. In last lecture we have discussed about the SI unit system and we have discussed about derived units and supplementary units. In supplementary units, we have discussed about solid angle and plane angle, right? And there we have also discussed that in physics, generally the angle must be in radian only, right? The angle should be in radian. So we have discussed how you can convert degree into radian, arc of a minute into radian, right? Or you can say that for second into radian. And I have given you few examples also. Apart from that, at the end of that video lecture, we were solving example 2.1 from the exercise of chapter 2. That is unsolved example 2.1. In that we have solved A, B and C part. But one more part is that is D point was left, right? So let us start with that only. So unsolved example 2.1, it was given that fill in the blanks, and in that A, B and C we have calculated. Now the D1 is the relative density of Li is 11.3. Remember relative density of Li is 11.3. Its density is blank gram per centimeter cube and blank kg per meter cube. So we have to find its density in gram per centimeter cube and kg per meter cube. Now what do you mean by relative density? Right? You are coming across this for first time, I think, right? So relative density means comparison of a given density of a given physical quantity with water. We have taken water as a standard for density, right? So you will come across this in chapter 10. So at that time we will discuss in detail, but for time being, what do you mean by relative density? So relative density is defined as density of given material, object, substance to the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1, remember, and that's why we have taken water as a standard for measuring density, because density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1. Now you may think that density of water will change with temperature. Of course, density of water will keep on changing, and in fact there is one more interesting concept about water. That is anomalous expansion of water, which we will discuss later on. And that is very interesting topic, but we are not going to discuss now. So density of a given material to the density of a water at 4 degrees Celsius is known as relative density. So here density of a given material will be, so therefore we can say that density of a given material or a substance or an object will be equal to relative density into density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. So density of a given material will be equal to density of water at 4 degrees Celsius into relative density. So therefore density of Li is equal to relative density is given as 11.3. Check, in this question relative density of Li is given as 11.3 into density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Remember the standard value we'll write somewhere afterwards that the density of water, or you can see here, the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube, right? And that is why we have taken it as a standard for measuring density. And the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube, which can be written as 1000 kg per meter cube, which we will discuss now, we will derive now. So density of lead will be equal to 11.3 into 1, so you can say that this is 11.3 gram per centimeter cube. This will be our first answer. Now we want answer in kg per meter cube. Sorry, here cube should be there. We want answer in kg per meter cube also. So therefore, density of lead will be equal to 11.3. Now 1 gram is 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Remember, 1 kg is 10 raised to 3 gram. 1 kg is 10 raised to 3 gram. So 1 gram will be 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Right? So this will be equal to 10 raised to minus 3 kg whole over 1 centimeter. We have already discussed 1 centimeter is 10 to the power minus 2 meter and whole cube. So 11.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 over 10 to the power minus 2 into 3. Minus 2 into 3 is minus 6 meter cube. This is kg. Now if 10 raised to minus 6 will go up. 11.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to 6 kg per meter cube. So minus 3 plus 6 will be plus 3. So this is 11.3 into 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. This will be the density of lead and in kg per meter cube. Now let us discuss unsolved example 2.2. Unsolved example or exercise 2.2. Again, this is similar to the previous one, only filling the blanks. Okay. Filling the blanks. The first one is 1 kg meter square per second square is equal to blank. Let us say the first one, A, is 1 kg meter square per second square is equal to blank gram centimeter square per second square. Right. So given, we have to convert 1 kg meter square per second square into gram. So 1. Now 1 kg is 1000 gram. Right. Or instead of 1000 you can write 10 raised to 3 gram into 1 meter is 100 centimeter or 10 raised to 2 centimeter and square of that. And second is second only, right? So upon second square. 1 second square if you want, you can write. So this is 10 raised to 3 gram into 2 2s are 4. 10 raised to 4 centimeter square over second square. Now 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 4. If base are same, you will add power. So this will be equal to 10 raised to 3 plus 4 is 7 gram centimeter square per second square. So you can say that 1 kg meter square per second square will be equal to 10 raised to 7 gram centimeter square per second square. So this is how we can convert 1 kg meter per second square into gram centimeter square per second square. Now the second one is an interesting one. The second one is 1 meter equal to blank light year. Ly means light year. Now what is light year? Light year is basically a distance traveled by light in 1 year. So light year, if you come across here, you will think that it is a unit of time. 1 year is time actually, right? After 1 year means after some particular time. So year is a unit of time. But 1 light year is unit of a distance. 1 light year here it means that the distance traveled by light in 1 year. The total distance traveled by light in 1 year. Right? So here 1 light year is equal to, or you can say that 1 light year is the distance traveled by a light in 1 year, or the total distance covered by the light in 1 year. Instead of travel, you can write cover. The total distance covered by a light in 1 year is known as 1 light year. Right? So we know that velocity is distance of speed is distance upon time. So this implies that distance will be equal to speed into time. Right? So therefore distance will be equal to speed of light. You might have come across this in standard 10, chapter number 10, right? So speed of light V is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and time is 1 year. So we have to convert year into second because this is in second. So 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second into 1 year is approximately 365.25 days. Right? Why 0.25? Because every 4 years we will have one leap year. That is 1 day extra. 1 day extra. That is in February you have 29. Right? So say 365.25. For leap year we are adding 0.25 into, this is days. So in 1 day that is 24 hours. In 1 hour that is 60 minutes, and in 1 minute that is 60 seconds. Right? So look how we have converted. 1 year is 365 days you can write, but the correct answer is 365.25 days because we have to consider a leap year. So 365.25 days, and in 1 day that is 24 hours, in 1 hour that is 60 minutes, and in 1 minute that is 60 seconds. So if you multiply this thing, let us say 3 into 365.25 into 24 into 60 into 60. So answer will be 94672. 94. This is equal to 94672,800 into 10 to the power 8. Let us confirm again. 94672,800 into 10 raised to 8, right? Meter. This will be the distance covered by light in 1 year. So if you move the point, if you shift the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can say that 9.467 into 10 raised to 7 into 10 raised to 8. So this will be equal to 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter. This is the distance traveled by light in 1 year. You have to remember this value. The distance traveled by light in 1 year is 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter. Right? But in our question is given as 1 meter equal to blank light year. So therefore, here we got 1 light year is equal to 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter. So divide this, take this on other side. So therefore 1 meter will be 1 over 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 light year. So if you divide 1 by 9.467, so 1 divided by 9.467, you will get 0.10563 into 10 to the power, this is 50, right? Minus 15. If you want, you can see one more point on the right hand side. So this will be 1.0563 into 10 to the power minus 16 light year. So 1 meter will be equal to 1.0563 into 10 to the power minus 16 light year. This is how we can convert 1 meter into light year or 1 light year into meter. Clear? Now the third one is, that is case C, 3 meter per second square is equal to blank kilometer per hour square. Now we have to convert 3 meter per second square into blank kilometer per hour square. Now if you know that we are already aware of this, or we have come across this, 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, which you can write as 10 raised to plus 3 meter, right? So if you take 10 raised to plus 3 on the other side, you can say that 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer will be equal to 1 meter. So if you want to convert meter into kilometer, you will write 1 meter is 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer. In the same way, we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Right? And you can say that is 1 minute is 60 seconds. So into 60 seconds. So this will be equal to 3600 second. 1 hour is 3600 second. If you divide both the side by 3600, so 1 over 3600 hours will be equal to 1 second. So if you want to convert seconds into hours, you will divide by 1. So you will multiply by 1 by 3600 or you will divide by 3600. So here 3 meter per second square will be equal to 3 into 1 meter is 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer. So into 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer over 1 second is 1 by 3600 hours. So 1 by 3600 hours and whole square, because second square is there. So this will be equal to 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer over 1 by 3600 whole square over r square. So this will be our kilometer per r square. Now simplify this. You can easily simplify this. This will be equal to 3 into 10 raised to minus 3, and this whole term will move up. So into 3600 into 3600, right? Over 1, no need of writing, kilometer per r square. Now let us simplify this. So if we use calculator, we will get 3 into 3600 into 3600, that will be equal to 38880. This will be equal to 3888000 into 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer per r square. Now let us shift this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are shifting 7 points. Therefore, we can write 3 meter per second square will be equal to 3.888 into 10 raised to 7 into 10 raised to minus 3 kilometer per r square, and that will be equal to 3.888 into 7 minus 3, 10 raised to 7 into 10 raised to minus 3. So if base are same, you have to add power. So 7 plus minus 3 will be 10 raised to 7 minus 3, that is 4 kilometer per r square. This will be your answer. So to convert 1 meter per second square, in fact actually 3 meter per second square, if we convert 3 meter per second square into kilometer per hour, our answer will be 3.888 into 10 raised to 4 kilometer per r square. Now the fourth case for exercise 2.2 is, say D, G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square over kg square is equal to blank centimeter cube over gram second square. So we have to convert Newton meter square upon kg square into centimeter square upon gram second square. Now what is capital G over here? So if you remember, in standard 9 you have come across gravitation, right? So your capital G is universal gravitational constant, right? Universal gravitational constant, and its value is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square upon kg square. Actually, if you know that Newton's universal law of gravitation, in that, let us say if we have two objects, let us say its mass is m2 and mass is m1, and both these objects are separated by distance r, right? Then the force acting between them, that the gravitational force acting between them, is directly proportional to product of their masses m1 m2, and it is inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So force is directly proportional to product of their masses. and it is inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So if you remove this proportionality sign, you will get F equal to G m1 m2 over r square, where G is known as universal gravitational constant, universal constant of gravitation you can say, or universal gravitational constant, right? Now if you simplify this, if you make G subject, then we get G is equal to F into r square, F into r square upon m1 into m2, F into r square upon m1 into m2. So here unit for force is Newton, r is distance between two, that is meter, so meter square, upon m is mass, kg, into kg is kg square. So therefore unit of G will be Newton meter square upon kg square. But here we want centimeter cube gram second square, right? Centimeter cube in terms of centimeter cube, gram and second square, or you can say the centimeter cube upon gram second square. So we have to convert this in this form, right? So actually according to the formula of force, Newton meter square upon kg square, remember this is the unit. Now what is force? We know that force is mass into acceleration, right? So you can say that G will be equal to force is mass into acceleration into r square upon m1 into m2. We are simplifying for unit, right? So m1, m2, we are not writing anything like that. So therefore G will be equal to unit of mass is kg, unit of acceleration meter per second square, and unit of distance is meter and square of that meter square upon mass is kg, and this is also mass, so into kg. So if you see kg will cancel out, right? And we will have therefore G will be equal to meter into meter square is meter cube upon kg, and this second square will come down, kg second square. So you can say that, therefore we can say that 1 Newton meter square upon kg square is equal to meters cube, 1 meter cube upon kg second square, right? And this meter cube we have to convert into centimeter cube, kg into gram, second will remain as it is. Clear? So let us simplify this. So here you can see that we'll directly use this 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square upon kg square is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 meter cube upon kg second square. So this will be equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. Now 1 meter is 100 centimeter. So you can say that 10 raised to 2 centimeter whole cube over 1 kg is 1000 gram. 1000 means 10 raised to 3 gram, and second square as it is. So this will be equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. 10 raised to 2, 2 3s are 6, right? So into 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube over 10 raised to 3 gram second square. So this will be equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 plus 6 will be minus 5. Minus 11 plus 6 will be minus 5. And this 10 raised to 3 will go up. So into 10 raised to minus 3 centimeter cube upon gram second square. Now minus 5 minus 3, 10 raised to minus 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. Base are same, so power you can directly add. So this will be equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter cube upon gram second square. This will be your answer. So 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square upon kg square will be equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter cube upon gram second square. Now our next topic is related to measurement of length. Now you must be aware of this, that for measuring different type of length, we are using different kind of instruments for measuring, right? Say for example, if you want to measure the length of your pen, you will use a scale. Now the minimum measurement that the scale can measure will be 0.1 centimeter, which you can say that 1 mm. Suppose if I will draw a scale over here, let us say this is 0, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So this is 0 and this is 1. If you check, this will be 0 and this will be 1. If you count, this will be your 0.5. So you can say that 0, 0.1, 0.2, this is 0.3, this is 0.4, 0.5. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and this is 1, right? So you can see that the minimum measurement which a scale can measure is 0.1 centimeter. So the minimum measurement that an instrument can measure is known as least count. The minimum measurement that an instrument can measure accurately is known as least count. So what is least count? The minimum measurement that an instrument can measure accurately is known as least count. So here you can see that scale can measure minimum up to 0.1 centimeter. So the least count, LC, least count can be represented as LC. For scale is 0.1 centimeter, or you can say that this is 1 mm, which is 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So by using scale, we can measure small distance up to 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Now if you want to measure size of any particle which is less than 10 raised to minus 3 meter, then we may use spherometer, or you can say that screw gauge. Vernier caliper is also another device. Screw gauge and spherometer helps us to find the length or the size of an object up to 10 raised to minus 5 meter. So these are the few instruments which can help us to find length of any object up to the range of 10 raised to minus 6 meter. On the other hand, if you want to find size of molecules and all that, then we have indirect method, right? Monolayer method and all that, which will help us to find the size of the objects or particles having size less than 10 raised to minus 6 meter. Of course, we can use microscope to find the size of virus, bacteria, right, blood cells, etc. But apart from that, if you want to find size of molecules which is up to 10 raised to minus 10 meter, then there is some indirect method for finding such size or length of such molecules, right? Now, if you want to measure length of this pen, then you will use scale as we have discussed. But suppose if distance is more, suppose you want to find the length of the clothes. Suppose if you go to a market and you are buying some clothes, then that person will use that meter scale, right? So in that case, to measure the length, we will use meter scale. On the other hand, if I will ask you to measure the length of or the distance between these two walls, right? If you want to measure distance between these two walls, what you will do? You will use measuring tape, right? But suppose if you want to measure distance between two cities, let us say we want to find distance between Navsari and Surat, then of course we cannot take that measure tape and run till Surat, right? So in that case, we are using some indirect methods for measuring the length or the distance between two cities. That indirect method, you can say that suppose you will note down the reading of your bike speedometer, right? Suppose the reading is 1000 kilometer. Now if you reach somewhere in Surat and now the reading is 1053 kilometer, it means that the difference of these two, 1053 minus 1000, that is 53 kilometer. It means that from your location to the point in this Surat, the total distance is 53 kilometer. So you can say that this is an indirect method for measuring the length or the distance which are very large. But suppose if I will ask you to measure the distance between Earth and let us say Moon, obviously we cannot start our bike and travel towards moon, right? So in that case, there is some indirect methods. One of those methods is parallax method, which we are going to discuss in our next lecture. Parallax method is a method to find the distance between Earth and any other planet. Right? By using that, we can get the exact value, or accurate answer, or the distance between any two planets. So that topic we are going to discuss in our next lecture. Till then, as usual, keep on reading, keep on writing, and keep on preparing. Thank you.